There's this great verse at the end of the book of John that helps to describe God and the Bible. Well, it helps to define the Bible. And it says, and there are many other things that Jesus did that, if written in detail, I suppose not even the world itself could contain the books. That's a pretty, what's the word? It's a pretty, I can't think of the word. That says a lot. It tells us that Jesus did things that would fill volumes and volumes, like billions of volumes, and all we have is one volume about that big. And here's why this is important. Because did Jesus ever laugh? If we read the Gospels, we have no accounts of Jesus laughing. We have an account of him crying in John, right? Shortest verse in the Bible says Jesus wept. And we have an account of him getting angry, getting all the people out of the temple. So we know that he was emotional at times. Of course, he was human. But we don't have any verses that tell us that he actually laughed. So, is it safe to assume then, because it's not written in the Bible that we have, that Jesus never once laughed during his earthly time on earth? Because it's not written explicitly in the Bible. Nowhere in the Bible does it explicitly say that Jesus laughed. Is that a safe assumption? I'm not going to assume that. I don't think it's a safe assumption at all. Of course he laughed. He's human. People get the wrong idea about him. They think he's like so holy that holiness means you never laugh, because nothing's ever funny to you because it's all holy. Say what? That's ridiculous. We're made in his image. He's just like us. We're just like him. Obviously not the broken parts. You don't have to explain the obvious to me. But, he's called the first among many brethren. He says he's not ashamed to call us his brothers in Hebrews. We all come from one Father. For this reason, he is not ashamed to call them brothers, right? So he sounds kind of like a family guy to me. And when families get together, they always laugh. Any relatively healthy family, that is. I realize not all families are healthy, and not only that, but there's a ton of other things that we know that Jesus did that are not explicitly written in the Bible. And we can just basically assume that some of those things are some of the normal things we would think that he did, such as laughter. Right? And other normal human things. So, is the Bible authoritative? Yes. Is the Bible important? Yes. Can we believe the Bible? Yes. Is the Bible everything that Jesus ever did? No, it's not. And the Bible even says that in John 21:25. Check it out if you don't believe me. So you have to get to know Jesus personally, and once that happens, you find out that he's a lot more. He's infinite. He is not God the Father, right? He is the Son, but he is deity, and as deity, he possesses those infinite qualities, right? Infinite in love and peace and wisdom, life, all those things. Obviously, he doesn't know everything. He said that there's some things he doesn't know, only the Father knows, right? So God is obviously greater than him, Yahweh, the Father. But Jesus he's not just 4 books. He is what we see in the 4 books. And as Paul describes him later, and Peter describes, as the apostles describe him in later places in the Bible, and as he's described in previous places in the Bible and prophecies, right? It says that the Spirit of Christ was in those people way back then, telling us about him, indicating the glories to come, and the sufferings to come, and the glories to follow, and all that stuff, right? Quoting Bible verses here to make a point. He is what we see in the Bible, but not the entirety of him is in the Bible. Thanks, and have a great day.